could be further along as a leader. In this video, I'm going to share with you some of the very common reasons why women in leadership sometimes tend to struggle in their careers as it relates to leadership advancement. Now, this is very common, and I talk to so many clients that struggle with this, and I want to make sure that you are not struggling with leadership advancement. So we're going to talk about today. This is a Q&A. Therefore, if you have a question, please place it in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to give you some insight and some strategies that will help you on your journey. This is a live video, and what happens during the live video, there's typically a point in time when the audience will join. Therefore, give me just a few moments so I can say hello to everyone, and we're going to your questions and answers today. If you are watching the replay of this video, I'm glad that you're here. Thank you for stopping by. Feel free to put your comments in the comment section. I will respond to your comment, even though this is a Q&A and it's live, but I will reply to your comments whenever that time is right for you, to give you some insight to help you on your journey. I smile because I just attended an event earlier this week, and some of you may know about it. It is an Aspire event, Aspire Tour, and this event is really heavily focused on entrepreneurs and them growing their businesses. There were several notable people at the event, and throughout the next week, I would say maybe month, I'll talk a bit more about what I learned from each speaker. But some of the speakers I listened to that were there were Kevin O'Leary, Gary Vaynerchuk, Jordan Belfort, Renee Rodriguez, and a few other people. And leadership was a big part of it. Leadership was a huge part of this event. And one of the reasons why I noticed that sometimes leaders struggle with advancing in their career, and they're not exactly sure, well, why am I not where I want to be? Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever felt as if you should be further along than you are? A lot of times it comes down to what's important to you. So my first reason I would say that people and leaders really do struggle with leadership advancement, women leaders struggle with this, men leaders struggle with this, is that they're not really clear on where they want to go and where they want to be. If you don't have a clear path in terms of the direction you're trying to go towards, then it makes it very, very difficult for you to know where you want to go. Sometimes the path may not be clear. And I know I've been in situations like that. Let me know if you've been in situations like that, where you know where you're going, but the road appears a bit foggy. That's okay. That is very, 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 very common. It's okay to walk forward when you're not sure exactly where you're going. But if you don't have a path, you don't have a goal, it makes it difficult for you to be able to advance in your career. And I see a lot of people, and especially leaders, they really, really struggle with this. They don't know exactly where they're going. So I want to say hello. Hope you're doing well today. We have Sacred Stars Flow. I'm driving, so I hope I said your name correctly. It says RN. Yes, hope you're doing well today. Let me know what part of the big, beautiful world you are joining from today, and what questions you have about leadership advancement. That's what we're diving into today during this very brief live. I know this is the first time I've seen you on my channel, so welcome. I focus heavily on advanced communication skills that will help you learn how to communicate more concisely and confidently when you are under pressure. And I focus specifically on women in leadership to help them be able to accelerate their growth. However, I have a lot of people on my channel that are outside of my target audience that I provide executive coaching and consulting services to, that are men in leadership and that are individuals that are thinking about being leaders. So either way, you're going to learn a lot of information here. So Sacred Stars Flow says, hey, and from Massachusetts. All right, awesome. I know it is cold in Massachusetts right now. I can only imagine how cold it is in Massachusetts. I'm in the sunshine state of Florida, and I have a coat on today because it is cold. So I can only imagine how cold it is. Sacred Stars Flow says, I believe I'm a leader. Keep moving, although I don't know. Well, what questions do you have, Sacred Stars Flow? We'll talk about them today. This is on Fridays during my live, so I typically go live Tuesday through Friday in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, depending on if there's an event. Like, for instance, this past Tuesday, I was at the Aspire Tour event, where they had several people there, Gary Vaynerchuk, Kevin O'Leary, Jordan Belfort, Renee Rodriguez, Andrew Cordell, Eddie Wilson, a lot of well-known individuals. So I was there, so I missed it. But for the most part, it's Tuesday through Friday during these time periods. Okay, let me see what else is going on in the chat, and we'll talk about, answer your questions today. Today is Q&A. We have Bishop Burton. Good morning, Bishop. How are you doing today? Bishop Burton says, good morning, my sister. I always enjoy your teaching. Thank you so much, Bishop Burton. Well, thank you, Bishop. I appreciate you being here and being a part of our community. You definitely come up with some really great topics to discuss. So I appreciate you. And if you have any questions about leadership advancement or anything you might be dealing with right now, let me know. As I've mentioned in many of my videos, I've been a C-suite executive, I've been a director, I've been a manager. For the past 20 years, I've dealt with congressional leaders. People tend to come to me for the very hard things, the hard conversations. You're not sure how to have them. That is my expertise. I will help you be able to communicate confidently and concisely under pressure and have the right way to have those very hard conversations. Sacred Stars Flow says, and feeling pressure, laugh out loud, enjoy Florida. Yes, absolutely. There's a lot of pressure that comes up with leadership. So this is a part of it, but there's ways to manage your pressure. So we'll go more into it. Let me see what else is going on in the chat. Bishop Burton says, hi. And Sacred Stars Flow says, is there a way to know what you are supposed to lead in? That's a really good question. And Sacred Stars Flow also says, or how to align with the purpose and money to support. And Sacred Stars Flow says, great job, woman. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's talk about your question. Is there a way to know what you're supposed to lead in or how to align with your purpose and money and support? I will share with you what I learned, what I've done in my business and what I learned during and I appreciate the heart emojis, friends, what I learned during the Aspire Tour, because I had the chance to be in the room with millions and billionaires. And I believe that you see people online and then you see them in person, and sometimes it might be different, and sometimes you learn things that they would not have necessarily taught you online. So I'm just sharing with you what I learned from my investment that I made to be in that room to help you all. When it comes to determining Sacred Stars Flow, what you need to lead in and your purpose, a lot of it is going to come down to what are you passionate about? What is an industry, or what is it that you truly enjoy doing that puts a smile on your face? What are you really excited about? For example, I have many of my clients that are in situations where they're trying to figure out, like, what am I doing with the rest of my life? Does that make sense? What am I doing with the rest of my life? I don't know. And one of the things that we talk about in an executive coaching session is what makes you happy? Like, what are you really excited about doing? What are you passionate about? Some of my clients say they don't know, and we have to really dive deep to figure out what that is exactly. Because if you don't know what it is that you're passionate about, sometimes you may be passionate about a lot of things, but there's something that you are incredibly passionate about, that if you could do this for free and help and support people, you would do it all day. Now, of course, that would be volunteering. But if you're trying to generate income and develop a business, it needs to be somewhat in alignment with something that you actually do like and you actually are somewhat passionate about. So let me give you an example for myself personally. And this is just for me. Hopefully, Sacred Stars Flow, this gives you some insight of things just to keep in mind. For me personally, I enjoy communication. I enjoy public speaking. I've been a public speaker for over 20 years. I was in Toastmasters. I became a distinguished Toastmaster with them and all of those things. Now, why do I mention this specifically as something that's important to me? Well, this is what I would do. I love being able to support other individuals. Of course, my focus is women in leadership, but I really support men in leadership like Bishop Burton. He's given some really great topics that we've had some really great conversations about, and other individuals as well. I could sit here and talk about this topic all day. This is just what I love to do. And so Sacred Stars Flow, think about what is it that you really, really enjoy doing. And if you find out what that is, then reach out to people to find out how can you start to move forward in that specific role. Working with an executive coach like myself is a great place to start to give you some foundation in terms of what is that big picture you're trying to work with. One of the things I do want to mention this also before I go to the chat is that the most important aspect or highlight, I would say, of the Aspire Tour event that I learned when I was communicating at the event this past Tuesday was that you have to be able to invest in yourself. I cannot tell you how many times they talked about mentorship, investing in yourself to move forward. And this information I'm sharing with you are from people that are making millions and billions of dollars. So investing in yourself is really very critically important. Knowing what you're happy about, what you enjoy. You have to get what you enjoy to be structured in a way to where it generates you income so that you can live and that you can make a bigger impact on the world, if that makes sense. So Sacred Stars Flow says, I like helping people. I can see where the problems are. Have also been through a lot to help a variety of people. I believe I am to speak on stage. Okay, fantastic. Well, you absolutely feel free to subscribe to the channel. I talk about public speaking skills. I've been on the news. I've been on stage. So you're welcome to learn as much as you can. And if you have some questions and you want to maybe have a strategy session where we just talk very briefly about what your big goal is and where you want to be and how I can support you, feel free to take a look at the strategy session, link in the description below. And Sacred Stars Flow says, dance/art right now. Thank you, Mama. I believe that's what you're saying. And Sacred Stars Flow says, wonderful. Thank you, Queen. Absolutely. No problem at all. I'm here to support you any way that I can to help you go to that next level on your journey. So Sacred Stars Flow brought up a really great point. How do you know where you're supposed to lead? You're supposed to lead where you are most passionate. And sometimes people say, well, your passion and your hobby cannot make you income. I disagree with that. You just have to be in the right setting with the right people to learn how you can make your passion generate income for you. So if someone says, oh, that's a hobby I do, and this, like I had a colleague of mine many years ago, and she likes cooking, We went to dental school together, and she enjoys cooking. And I told her, I said, well, you should really think about trying to maybe do something cooking wise. Maybe you do something on YouTube, and maybe you do host cooking events in your community, etc. And this is what normally is the response. And let me know if you've ever done this before. And if you have, it's okay. Normally the response is, oh, no, I don't want to do that. Or, oh, I don't have time to do that. All those things. Don't make that mistake, because you have a gift, Sacred Stars Flow. You have a gift just like everybody else on this live, because I know the fact that you clicked on this live, you're supposed to be here, because my lives and my content are directed at very, very special and unique people. Thank you for the heart emojis that are trying to elevate themselves and go to that next level in their careers. So don't make that mistake. Many people just brush off their hobbies. They brush off their expertise. Like, oh, I don't have time to do that, and I'm not good at that. Imposter syndrome will come into play. All of those things that will hold you back from moving forward in your career. This is why it's so incredibly important to make sure you are surrounding yourself around the right people that are motivating you and wanting you to move forward. Because you'll have individuals that will say, oh, no, I understand life is busy. I know you don't have time for that. Or you may have the individual that says, you know what? You can absolutely do this. What are some things you feel like you need support with to make this happen? It just depends on who you are around. So surrounding yourself around people that are very ambitious like you are will help you, Sacred Stars Flow, for sure. What I have found is as you start to elevate, and this is something just to keep in mind, and this is from over the past 20 years that I've been in these senior level, these very executive roles, is that as you elevate in your career, sometimes your peers may not be able to elevate with you. And that actually happened to me personally. I have a lot of my colleagues and friends that I love dearly, but everyone is not doing what I'm doing right now. They don't have a side business that they're working on, or maybe they're not on YouTube, maybe they're not on social media. So there comes a point where you have to recognize that, okay, I know I want to speak on stage one day. I know I want to be of service to other people, who do I need to surround myself with that is actually doing that? And sometimes it may not be the direct people that you interact with every single day. And I say that as a lesson, hopefully, that I have learned that will hopefully help you on your way, because sometimes what happens is that it will become you feel very lonely and very isolated when you're not in that growth mindset with everybody else. You may have your colleagues and friends that are trying to grow, but their growth may be here and you may be way up here, and you're just like, I'm struggling, how can I get there? I've been there, I know that. And so I interact more so with millionaires and billionaires now, because that's where I'm growing in my business. Some individuals may not be at that level where I'm at right now, which is fine. That's why I'm expanding my network to interact with people that are at that next level. I hope that gives you some insight, and I hope that doesn't hurt anyone's feelings. You still love your friends, you love your family members, because they're there for you. But there comes a point when you are really serious about elevating, which are the clients I work with. I only work with my clients that are actually trying to change their lives, not the people that are like thinking, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure. There's plenty of other coaches for that. I'm not the one for it specifically, but making sure you're in the right setting is really, really important, and you're surrounding yourself with the right people. All right, so Sacred Stars Flow says, been alone for a long time, partially being funny. I understand, absolutely. Bishop Burton says, hey, I've been around some of the best public speakers, and you're right there at the top. Well, thank you, Bishop Burton. I appreciate you, friend. Also, how can I get better with tools? Can you offer? Thank you so much. Okay, so you're talking about better with tools in terms of speaking, right? Is that what you're referring to, Bishop Burton? Let me know in the comments below. I think you probably are, but I appreciate your insight on that, and I thank you. Thank you so much, friend. I appreciate that. So let me know, are you referring specifically to speaking? I think you probably are. Yes, speaking. Okay, great. So Bishop Burton, really great ways to help you with speaking, which I know you're subscribed to the channel and we talk about speaking and etc. There's the keys to get better with speaking. A lot of it, and I'm going to do it generally speaking, and then we can talk a little bit more about it this evening. And I'll give you a shout out, Bishop. You know I will do it for you. I'll give you a shout out this evening too, because I think this is a topic we definitely want to go more into, especially for Sacred Stars Flow is new to the channel and is wanting to speak on stage too. The key to becoming a better speaker is to surround yourself with speakers, number one. But then there's something that happens. You mentally have to be in the right mindset to speak. And I say that because sometimes speakers don't talk about that. They talk about the actual speaking part of it, engaging with the audience, and etc. But there's a process that goes to it. Having the right mindset is really important. Knowing that you are confident, and Bishop Burton, we've talked about this, and thanks for the heart emojis. We've talked about this several times. Being that person that knows that you are experienced, knows that even if you're in a room of veterans, right, you still have something to offer. Knowing that you have a level of expertise and you have experiences that other people don't have will help you in your mindset when you're speaking in front of other people, because you can actually talk about what you've been through, what you've experienced, and etc. Another key to helping you be able to communicate and speak better on stage is to practice speaking as much as you can. Now, we will go more into that this afternoon. Bishop, I will do a video just for you, and we'll talk about, I'll give you overall what's helped me to become a better public speaker. There's Toastmasters, which I love Toastmasters. I became a distinguished Toastmaster there, and typically they have 358,000 members, and only 1% accomplished the Distinguished Toastmaster Award. So I've done a lot of speeches. I've done a lot. But there's a difference, though, Bishop, with Toastmasters compared to what I do here on my channel. There's the under pressure part that people don't really talk about, and that's really my expertise, is helping you communicate under pressure. What happens when you have a heckler in your audience? What happens when you have a question and answer session and you don't know how to respond? That's where I come in. And sometimes when people talk about speaking and being on stage, they really, really don't talk about that. They just talk about, you go out there, you memorize your speech, you say it, but then what else happens? What happens when you're under pressure? That's why you subscribe to my channel. So Bishop, we'll go more into that this afternoon. I will do a video for you that talks a bit about public speaking and enhancing those tools just for you. And I'll give you overall what's helped me over the past 20 years. So I'll do that for you this evening. Sacred Stars Flow says, I've been just trying to write what I'll say to help progress myself. Yes, writing what you're trying to do to progress yourself is helpful. There comes a point where you have the action that goes with it, and so that's something that that definitely you might want to consider as well. And you probably are doing a lot. I can tell you're doing a lot as well. So Bishop Burton says, hey, thanks so much for that. Absolutely, I'll do that this evening for you, Bishop. Pratik Galakar 1011 says, hello, Pratik. How you doing today? I'm about to wrap up the live, but I'm glad you stopped by and good to see you again, friend. Sacred Stars Flow says, do you think our stories are what lead us to help us to lead? Great job on the under pressure part that you're doing. Absolutely. So let me do this. I'm going to do this because I have to wrap up here. I'm going to take a screenshot of Bishop's question so I can do a video for him this afternoon. And Sacred Stars Flow about stories, I'm taking a screenshot of that because I will do a video for you also. So when it comes to your stories, yes, they do help you to lead, because many people just don't know how to navigate challenging situations because they haven't been there. So they need your expertise. This is the reason why people will invest. Like, for instance, there was a conversation at the Aspire Tour event that happened, and there was someone that invested $250,000 for 1 hour of one of the speakers' time. Now think about that. They are getting time with the speaker because they're learning from what? Their stories. So yes, absolutely, Sacred Stars Floor, your stories will help you be able to lead forward. And I'll do a video for you on that also. Pratik Latgar 1011 says, how are you doing today? I'm doing fantastically well, friend. And Pratik says, I just got free from workplace. Well, good. Hope you take a break. Well, I'm going to finish up the live on that. Join me later this evening. We'll talk a bit more about speaking in public and Sacred Stars Flow. I will definitely maybe go more into leading and helping you lead, specifically as it relates to your stories, because that is a big part of public speaking as well. So feel free to join me later this evening, and we'll go into both of those topics for Bishop Burton and for Sacred Stars Flow. I hope y'all have an absolutely amazing day. And Sacred Stars Flow says, thank you so much. Really feeling the pressure. Absolutely. And I love that. Thank you. Absolutely. You're so very welcome. I appreciate the heart emojis in the hundreds, and I will see you all later this evening. Have a great day. Bye for now.